bring in Republican Congressman Mike Turner, chair of the House Intelligence Committee. And let's start with China. You heard what Senator Warner said. How do you differ from President Biden in an approach to China?
Well, good morning, Martha. Well, first off, I think what we heard clearly from the intelligence community is the emergence of China as a threat, both militarily and through espionage, and as the senator was just saying, through technology, quantum technology, computing, also certainly the ability for them to insert themselves through TikTok into our data systems. We work really hard to get them out of our telecommunication systems by getting rid of Huawei systems in our telecommunications. Then we're handing over our phone systems by people downloading TikTok app, which has no division between the Chinese company, the Chinese government, and the Chinese Communist Party. So I think that the difference, is that the Biden administration appears to be much too timid. They've been much timid in their approach to Russia, always on the having been pushed by Congress before they would fully support Ukraine. And I think even in China that they're afraid to provoke. And we believe, I think most who've looked at the intelligence and look at what's happening with their military buildup, they're tripling their size of their nuclear weapons pointed at the United States. They're expanding their shipbuilding. They are absolutely emerging as a military threat to the United States. I think we need to respond and respond very strongly.
But what do you mean by that? You said the administration has a fear of provoking. What do you mean? What do you think they should be doing?
Well, in a number of areas, when the administration came in, there were policies in place in the Trump administration which they rescinded, one of which was a ban on TikTok. The Trump administration in August of 2020 had banned and required a disinvestment by China of TikTok. The administration reversed that in June of 2021. They also had in the Department of Justice a program that was directed at Chinese espionage. They were concerned that it was too provocative and that it might be targeting individuals, and so, which of course we wanted to target China, and so they disbanded that program, which had been set up under the Trump administration. So there's a number of things where they've dismantled them, where right now we're having debates about putting them back.
China did play a pivotal role in brokering this deal between Saudi Arabia and Iran in restoring relationships, a move that not only stunned Mideast watchers, but it also seemed to leave the U.S. on the sidelines.
Absolutely, and I think that, of course, is a reflection on the Biden administration. When the president came in, he had very harsh words for Saudi Arabia. At the same time that we were working with Saudi Arabia to try to strengthen their defenses against Iran, Iran actually attacked Saudi Arabia. Instead of this administration stepping forward and being a partner to Saudi Arabia, our ally, and working with them to defend themselves against attacks from Iran, they subject Saudi Arabia to a significant amount of criticism and were slow to react and respond to the military needs of Saudi Arabia. So it's not unexpected that they might look elsewhere for support. It certainly is very unexpected and certainly very troubling and disappointing that they would turn to Iran.
I want to turn to COVID origins. You've said that you believe COVID originated from a Chinese lab leak based on significant evidence. The Department of Energy said it has concluded the same, but with low confidence. Why are you so certain?
Well, actually, what I said is I think there's significant evidence that lends itself to that, and I still do. That's why you just saw unanimously both the Senate and the House pass legislation demanding that the administration declassify the intelligence that the intelligence community has with respect to COVID-19. It is incredibly frustrating for members of Congress to watch Dr. Fauci go on television and say things that are absolutely not supported by the intelligence. We're seeing the intelligence. It's not like we voted to say, show us the intelligence. We've seen it. We voted to say, show the American people they're not getting the straight answer from Dr. Fauci or from this administration. They need to be able to see for themselves what has occurred. And I understand that Dr. Fauci has a reason to say that there was not a lab leak, because he was actively working to fund the lab in Wuhan. So you see a gentleman who is biased.
I think Dr. Fauci would dispute that.
Public, this straight. Well, I think the evidence really shows it, that there's funds over which he has control that ended up at the Wuhan lab. So at this time, you've got a guy who's going on national television, I believe, and I think members of Congress believe, saying things that are not reflected in the intelligence. So our view is show the American public the intelligence, and then you, Martha, you can have the intelligence in front of you, and the next time Dr. Fauci's on, you can say, hey, but the intelligence actually says X, and you can challenge him.
Well, we'll see if that happens, and we'll see if China ever cooperates. That's important as well. Thanks very much for joining us this morning, Congressman.
Thank you, Martha.